Andrea Pia Kennedy was born on July 2, 1964, in Houston, Texas. She was the youngest of 5 children in a working-class Catholic family. Bright and determined, Andrea excelled academically, graduating as the valedictorian of Milby High School in 1982. She was the kind of student who thrived in structure and discipline, and those qualities followed her into adulthood. In 1986, she earned a nursing degree from the University of Texas Health Science Center and went on to work as a registered nurse at the prestigious MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. By all accounts, Andrea was intelligent, kind, and compassionate, a woman with a bright future and a strong sense of purpose. In 1993, at age 28, Andrea married Russell "Rusty" Yates, a NASA computer engineer. Rusty, deeply religious and heavily influenced by fundamentalist Christian teachings, introduced Andrea to a way of life that emphasized female submission, self-sacrifice, and the spiritual duty to bear many children. He subscribed to ideas aligned with the Quiverful movement, a religious belief system that encourages large families as a sign of divine obedience. Andrea, eager to build a family and please her husband, embraced these ideals. In 1994, they had their first son, Noah. The couple's family grew rapidly. John was born in 1995, Paul in 1997, Luke in 1999, and finally, Mary in 2000. With each birth, Andrea's mental health deteriorated, though few outside the family understood just how badly she was suffering. After Noah's birth, she experienced postpartum depression, which went largely unacknowledged. But after Mary, things reached a terrifying crescendo. Early in their marriage, the Yates family made a decision that would have a long-lasting psychological impact on Andrea. Influenced by Rusty's desire to live light and remain humble, they moved into a cramped trailer. Eventually, Rusty purchased a 350-square-foot renovated bus from a traveling preacher named Michael Warnicki. Warnicki wasn't just a seller of buses. He was a charismatic minister whose extreme religious views captivated the Yates family. He preached a hardline, fire and brimstone form of Christianity, claiming that women were inherently wicked, that their sinfulness stemmed from Eve, and that bad mothers produced bad children doomed to hell. Andrea, who was already vulnerable and struggling to maintain a grip on reality, became consumed by his teachings. Michael's wife, Rachel, allegedly sent Andrea letters laced with vitriol. In one letter, Rachel wrote, "You are evil. You are wicked. You are a daughter of Eve, who is a wicked witch." These messages took root in Andrea's fragile psyche, reinforcing her darkest fears, that she was failing as a mother, that her children were damned because of her, and that the only way to save them was through the ultimate sacrifice. After Luke's birth in 1999, Andrea's mental state collapsed. She attempted suicide twice, including once by overdosing and another time by holding a knife to her own throat. She was hospitalized and diagnosed with postpartum psychosis, a rare but severe form of mental illness that can cause hallucinations, delusions, and a break from reality. Doctors warned Rusty that any additional pregnancies would likely worsen Andrea's condition. But Rusty, clinging to religious doctrine and a belief that children were blessings no matter the cost, dismissed their warnings. Andrea conceived Mary not long after. After Mary's birth in November 2000, Andrea's condition became dire. She stopped eating, mutilated herself, and began seeing terrifying visions of Satan, of her children being harmed, of herself burning in hell. In March 2001, she was hospitalized again after a complete nervous breakdown. She was treated with Haldol, a powerful antipsychotic that temporarily stabilized her. But in May, just weeks before tragedy struck, her psychiatrist tapered her off the medication. On June 4, 2001, Andrea filled the bathtub and sat beside it, staring into the water for hours. This chilling act was a warning, a preview of what was to come. Rusty had her hospitalized again, but she was released on June 18th, just 2 days before the worst day of her life. Despite medical advice, Rusty left Andrea alone with their 5 young children on the morning of June 20th. He believed she was improving. He believed she could handle it. That morning, around 9:30 a.m., Andrea locked the doors, filled the bathtub, and began systematically drowning her children. First came Paul, age 3, then Luke, age 2, followed by 6-month-old Mary. After killing the younger 3, she laid their bodies out on the bed. Then she drowned John, age 5, and finally 7-year-old Noah, who, according to police reports, fought back and tried to run. But Andrea caught him and dragged him back to the tub. When the water stilled, she laid Noah's body in the tub and picked up the phone. At 9:48 a.m., Andrea called 911. Calmly, she told the dispatcher, "I need a police officer." She then phoned Rusty at work, telling him to come home. When police arrived at the Yates home at 10:05 a.m., they found the bodies arranged in the master bedroom, with Noah still floating in the water. Andrea met them at the door and immediately confessed, "I killed my children." She explained to investigators that she believed her children were not developing correctly and that they were doomed to eternal damnation. She believed she had to kill them while they were still innocent, so their souls could be saved. She saw herself as a bad mother, unworthy, unclean, and dangerous. In her fractured mind, this horrific act was the only way to protect them. Andrea was arrested and charged with capital murder. She was placed on suicide watch at Harris County Jail, then transferred to Ben Taub Hospital for treatment. Doctors diagnosed her with severe postpartum psychosis and schizophrenia. At her trial in 2002, Andrea's defense argued insanity, but a prosecution psychiatrist testified, falsely, that Andrea had been inspired by an episode of Law & Order, where a mother kills her children and is acquitted. That episode, it turned out, never existed. Still, the testimony helped convince the jury to convict Andrea. She was sentenced to life in prison, but that conviction would not stand. In 2005, the verdict was overturned due to the false testimony. A new trial was ordered. In 2006, after years of public outcry and growing awareness of postpartum mental illness, Andrea Yates was found not guilty by reason of insanity. She was committed to Kerrville State Hospital in Texas, where she remains to this day. Now 61 years old, Andrea has been under court-ordered treatment for nearly 2 decades. Every year, she is entitled to a competency review and the opportunity to petition for release, but she never has. Andrea chooses to remain institutionalized, believing she must continue to atone for what she did. Rusty Yates, Andrea's husband at the time, divorced her in March 2005. He remarried Laura Arnold in March 2006, and they had a son, Mark, in 2008. As of today, Rusty, now 60, lives in Texas and has forgiven Andrea, maintaining contact with her through phone calls and visits. This case sent shockwaves through America. It raised troubling questions about the failures of the healthcare system, the weight of untreated mental illness, and the devastating consequences of religious extremism. But more than anything, it forced the world to confront a deeper tragedy, that a mother who loved her children, in the grip of madness, could believe that killing them was an act of mercy. Some say justice was served. Others say justice came too late. This case remains one of the most chilling intersections of mental illness and tragedy in modern American history. It sparked national conversations about postpartum psychosis, the weight of religious extremism, and the responsibilities we all share in recognizing the warning signs before it's too late. Though the courtroom battles have ended and the headlines have faded, the questions still linger about mercy, accountability, and how a mother's love could become entangled in such darkness. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more chilling true crime stories. As always, stay curious and stay safe.